Hi, here's a short 15-minute routine that you can do to get you moving, whether you've been sitting for a long period of time or whether you are feeling a bit stiff in the morning. So we're just going to start off lying on your back. You could even do this in bed before you get out of bed. So lie on your back. I'm just going to start off with a breathing exercise just to help you feel grounded and focused. You can also do this at the end of your practice, which is quite nice as well. So just feeling your feet in contact with the floor, your sacrum, your back of your ribs, back of your shoulders and the back of your head. And just try and let your body feel heavy but also relaxed. And then start to just take some breaths in through your nose and then out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And just notice where you are breathing. If you're breathing just shallowly up into your chest, or if you can breathe down into your abdominals and into your rib cage. So you want to feel that you're breathing into your ribs. So imagine your ribs like an umbrella. So as you open the umbrella, your rib cage moves out to the side. And then as you breathe out, your rib cage or that image of the umbrella comes closer together. So just do that a few times. So this is a great way of just mobilizing your diaphragm and also your pelvic floor. And what you might notice as you breathe out, you feel a little bit of engagement through those lower abdominals. So we don't want to feel like anything's tense or squeezed. We want to feel the muscles relaxing as you breathe in and then gently contracting as you breathe out. Now you can try and continue to do that breathing pattern as we just start to add on some pelvic tilts. So we're simply, in time with the breath, tilting your pelvis forwards and backwards and just trying to get a little bit of movement and blood flow into the lumbar spine as well as to your pelvic organs. So you could stay with that if that is enough for you, or we could start to roll up. So you're tilting your pelvis up, pressing into your big toe and your heel, and again make this nice and relaxed as you roll up through your spine. Just coming up to your shoulder blades to a point where you've got a straight line between your shoulders, your hips and your knees. You can pause there, take a breath in and then breathe out and slowly just roll back down again. A nice thing to think about is imagine you've got a row of grapes underneath your spine and you're trying to squish those grapes as you come back down. So again, we breathe in at the bottom. You can do a little arch here if you want to, and just have the sense that you're really opening your pelvis, letting all those muscles in your pelvis and your glutes relax. So we breathe out again, just gentle up and flattening off your lumbar spine, your lower back, and then starting to have the sense that you're pressing your knees forward, and that will help you with that articulation through your spine. Breathing in at the top, and then breathing out as you roll down. Keep having that sense of sending your knees forward. Imagine you're pushing your shins into a wall as you roll down, and again that will give you that lovely articulation. And once you get to the bottom, again, just have that sense of relaxation, feel that you're like really just opening your buttocks. So we'll do that 2 more times. You can obviously do this more if you want to. This is just a nice way to get a little bit of mobility through your whole, practically all of your spine. And then when we get to the top there, we're just activating those glutes and hamstrings. So once we get to the top again, this time we're going to keep our knees and upper body still, and we're just going to push our hips side to side. So if you had the chi tray balanced on your pelvis, what you'd be trying to do is just move the tray side to side, but without spilling those drinks. And then you can come down a little bit lower and do the same thing. And again lower, and what you'll find is the lower you get, the more movement you get. Just noticing any sensation in your back or your ribs, and then lower again. Not judging it, just noticing it, and then just rolling all the way back down and just relaxing. If you need to have a wiggle or a stretch, that's fine. Just do whatever you need to do, and then bring your feet back. So this time, sort of tilting our pelvis, we're going to start from our head. So just want you to really gently make a double chin. Again, it's not stressful, it's just that movement where you're nodding your chin towards your chest. And then you start to just press in with the upper back and the upper ribs and the shoulder blades, and then the middle ribs and the middle, bottom of your rib cage until you feel that your pelvis is lifting off the floor. So it's like you're kind of closing off the front of your body, and then we're going to do the opposite movement. So send your pelvis forward so you get that little arch underneath your back, and then think about lifting your ribs upwards so you get a gap underneath your rib cage, and finally just letting your shoulders roll back and your throat open up as you let your head just gently roll back. So it's like now we're opening the front of the body. So we'll close it up again. So very gentle, and then you just open it up again. So we're just making that movement again through your whole of your spine, and you can understand the link between here, between your pelvis and your head is attached to your spine, and that movement of your spine allows this lovely movement of the pelvis and of your head. Okay, we'll just do that one more time. So again, just working within your pain or any body's tolerance, we don't let it push into pain. And then you're just going to bring your arms out to the side of the T, knees together, and we're just going to let the knees drop side to side. So for this one, it's more like it's quite a relaxed movement, so we just want to breathe in maybe as you go one way, and breathe out as you go the other. You can see I'm also just turning my head side to side as I rotate. I'm not letting my knees drop all the way to the floor, I'm just pausing halfway. And I'm using my bottom knee just to support that top knee. So we're getting a little bit of rotational work there going for the lumbar spine, and the upper back is nice and supported. And then you could let those knees just drop all the way to the side as you turn your head away. I'm just changing position of my arms now, so this gives you this nice stretch into your pectoral muscles. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So just looking over your shoulder and then coming back. And then we're just going to hug one knee in towards you. You can stretch, lengthen the other one out. This is also quite nice to do with a little yoga block or a ball underneath. So just a gentle stretch with glutes. You could circle your ankle one way and then the other. You can do the same with the other side as well. So keeping your back nice and flat, just hugging the knees in. And if your back feels okay, you can do that with both legs. So just a gentle hug in so you get a little stretch for your lower back. But if that's too much, flattening your back on the floor, then just do one at a time, or don't hug your knees in quite so much. We can then do one hand on top of the knee, and we're just going to do some hip circles here with bent knee. So just using your hands to guide your knees around and around, and then have that sensation of feeling that heaviness through the hip joint. So your hips should be able to move through 360 degrees. And you might also feel your back flattens and then just arches away. That's also fine. So again, we're just working on a little bit of mobility here. And then just hug your knees in again. You could have a little rock there side to side. That's quite nice for the lower back. And then just pop your feet down on the floor and have a nice stretch out. Lengthen your arms overhead. And then if you just reach long through one side of your body and then through the other side. And as you go through this, try and just synchronise your movement and your breath. So you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then you can go, if that feels okay, you could go into more of a star shape. Just let those legs go, let your arms feel heavy. And then here we could reach on a diagonal, so you're reaching long through one foot and then the opposite hand and then the other side. Again, if that's too much, you could do that with your knees bent, just reach and reach. And the same thing if you can't get your arms there, you just can hold them there. You can even hold them by your side or arms out to the side. So there's many different ways of doing this to suit the position of your arms and shoulders. And then just bend your knees in. You could do some little circles here with your pelvis. So just circling one way and then the other. Again, just helping to mobilise that lower back and get blood flow to not just your pelvic organs, but also to the spine, the intervertebral discs, and also to lubricate the facet joints. Okay, so we're going to turn onto our side and then come around onto your hands and knees. So on your hands and knees, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. So find your flat back, hopefully that's flat, so that you're neither tucked so tail's not up and tail's not down. So this is what's called neutral. Your toes can be tucked or your feet can be flat. It actually doesn't really matter. And then we're just going to start to gently just drop down. So we start with the tail. I'm going to try as much as I can to keep my upper back still. And then we're just moving your lower back into flexion and extension. So you're targeting just this lower back. So normally when we do cat stretch, it's the whole of the spine that's moving. We're going to try and work into those segments. So tucking under, this took me a while to master, so if you don't get it straight away, don't worry. It's quite good to do it in a mirror or looking in a screen so you can just see what's going on. Then we could keep the lower back still and we can move the upper back, mobilise the upper back. So I'm thinking about pressing my hands into the mat, lifting my t-shirt away from the mat, separating my shoulder blades at the back and almost like trying to lift my spine up towards the ceiling. And then keeping my lower back as still as I can, I'm just going to then drop my chest down, drop my t-shirt towards the floor, and without scrunching my shoulders to my ears, so keep that space, and then just sort of moving my shoulder blades down like that. So we separate my shoulder blades. Your lower back may move a little bit, so don't worry if it does. Because of course, as we found out when we were doing the spine curls, it's all connected. And then maybe we could put that all together. So we're going to start at our tail, we're going to go tail up, and we're going to do shoulders back. Drop your t-shirt down, think about your top ribs going up towards your throat and your bottom ribs going down towards your pelvis. And then you do the opposite movement, so you're dropping your tailbone. Imagine you're tucking your tail between your legs. You're separating those shoulder blades, lifting your t-shirt away from the mat. And again, and try and coordinate with this with your breath. So you're moving slowly and mindfully, you're not rushing it. And again, you can do this as many times as you need. I'm just going to do it once more. And then coming back to a flat back. This time we're just moving the lumbar spine, and we're sending your tail from side to side. So if you had a tail on your tailbone, you're just taking it to one side and then to the other a few times. You could even do some circles. So again, just mobilising that lower back, trying to get the muscles to relax off, lubricating those joints and those intervertebral discs. Okay, have a little sit back, untuck your toes, just stretch back. If you can't get your forehead on the floor, make two little fists and place your head on your hands and just breathe. So just notice how your body feels, where you're breathing. Again, you can stay there for up to 30 seconds, and then when you're ready, coming back up. So we're going to turn our attention now to the upper back and see if we can get some mobility there, and also from chest and shoulders. So you can either take your hand to your forehead or behind your head if that's more comfortable, and then elbow out to the side. And then all you're going to do is take your elbow down towards your opposite hand. It doesn't have to touch. And then coming back up. So you're rotating, so you see that you get that lovely rotation through your upper back. And then as you take your arm out to the side, you're opening up and getting this stretch for your shoulder and your chest. So you can do that 4, 5, 6 times. And then maybe you can go into a thread the needle, so you could take that on all the way through, drop your head down, and then with a longer lever reaching up. But if the other one is better, stick with that for now. And then what you could do right at the end is just stay with that hand down, head down, walk your front hand forward, and just try and encourage your shoulder onto the floor. So let's do that with the other side. So start with your hand to your temple, elbow towards your hand. So again, you can use your breaths, try and synchronise your movement and your breath. It's very gut balancing for the body. So we're breathing in as we go out to the side, and we're breathing out as we come down. So either stick with this one, or you can go into your larger thread the needles. And again, you can do more of these if you want to. Or you can pause here and just rest your cheek down, shoulder down, relax your hand, and walk your other hand forward. So lengthen through the back of your body here. Try and relax the hands, the feet, shoulder and your head. And bring yourself back up. So this time you can open your knees wide and just send your bottom back to your heels. Now open your feet wide, tuck your toes, and just start to shift your body weight forward. So you do not have to do as much as this. You could just stop here. And if it feels okay for you, you can drop down so you're coming into a little back extension. So breathing in as you go back, relax. Breathing out, you might feel that you're activating your pelvic floor a little bit and those lower abdominals as well. So once again, you could do this 5, 6, up to 10 times. And then you could also add a circular movement onto this as well, so you're moving more in a circle. The further away your hands are from your knees, the bigger your movements. And then you could also just pause in one of those two positions, so into the back extension. If it's not comfortable here, come down onto your forearms and let your pelvis drop down. And then back. So toes can be together or toes can be apart, it's up to you. And again, you can just stay on your elbows. You don't have to drop your head down to the floor. When you're ready, just slowly bring yourself up. And obviously there's loads more you can do in sitting and standing, but I think that's a good place